All right. Are we trying this? Another time. What is this? Take 4? Take 5? Take who knows? All right. This is when we get to breathe. This is when we can only control what we can control and we can't control. Give us the patience to control the things that we
Take 20. Oh my God. But we're here. We're committed. We are committed.
How committed are you guys? Like this, okay, so, and this is really interesting. So mid disconnection, we end up having this discussion, right? So, you know, yes, there's been a couple people that are like, oh, you know, there's what did he say they were called? Like, whatever energies that are going to get in the way of like sharing a positive message or whatever. And then I've heard other people be like, oh, it must be a sign from the universe that, you know, you shouldn't be doing it right now. Like, because it's clearly not working, right? And so I don't know about you, but I've come across that many times where it's like, what's the difference between it being a sign by the universe and you're not supposed to do it, or then it being just because there's always going to be obstacles in your life. There's always going to be something to get over, whether it's relationship, life, your job, it doesn't matter, some new project that you want to start. There's always going to be a bump in the road. And we can either sit there and be like, oh, it's universe, or oh, it's entities, or whatever. Or you can just stay committed with what you're doing, not get frustrated, and just do your best to continue moving forward.
For sure.
It's not a sign from the universe. Whether it's entities, I don't know.
It's
But
it's definitely fascinating. All right.
okay.
Let's start with why don't we start with a question?
You don't give up. Exactly. Okay, yeah, let's go for a question. Do your best and keep going. Exactly.
Thank you guys. We appreciate your support.
Exactly.
I'm just going to put mine just as a backup, but this will be where we do the main one.
Exactly.
But mine will be just a backup.
I know, because in the last couple times that we did, it was weird. It was like the video didn't save on my phone, but it saved on Phil's. And then the next time it didn't save on Phil's, and it did save in mine. So
it's very strange.
It's very strange, and it's technology. All the more reason to have you guys please go subscribe to our new YouTube channel, so then we can do possibly lives there.
Yeah.
And also have a bigger camera, so we're not in this tiny little space with all you guys. Okay. All right, let's get a juicy
question.
Amazingness right
So this
now.
is just going to be a backup for everyone who's tuning into mine. It's just a backup in
Exactly.
case we can't save Sarah's.
Exactly.
All right, good. Let's go. What is the next step?
For me, I just read that at the same time. Yes. What is it? What is it in terms of advancing my career?
Wait, what was the question?
What is the next step as far as advancing my career? So it's a little bit vague, babe. I don't know. You're more good at like kind of seeing into directly that. I usually just follow my intuition based on information already. So I would say as a general, what your next step is take a note from this experience and keep charging forward no matter what obstacles come your way.
For sure. Also, with your career, like with career in general, we never want to approach things externally. Like, truly, like we're here to figure out the inner workings of the universe.
Totally.
And the only way that we can figure out how the universe works and how all dots connect is if you go inside. So always focus on your internal energetic template. Okay, and and by default, your external reality will what's the word? It will spill over into your external reality.
Follow in suit or get in the same alignment.
Absolutely. Yes.
Love that.
And we're putting this just as a backup.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, let's ask another really good, juicy question.
Let's see. Oops. Where are we at? Is Reiki, this is easy, is Reiki a good way to figure out which chakras need attention / alignment? I think that you can actually tap into your own energy fields and opening up your third eye, which, yes, technically is one of your chakras. That, yes, you can use... Done. Sorry, okay, lost my train of thought. Reiki, yes, but Reiki is really just chi energy. So you can use chi to move and open those energy fields. But it's not, I wouldn't say that it's a good way to figure out which ones need to be opened. You're going to use your own intuition in tracking those.
That's right. I never really got into like, which one should I work on tonight? I usually focus, there's always like a theme that presents itself, like what are you dealing with this week? And then how can we then soothe that area? Yeah. Right? And we soothe the area by being non-judgmental as to the thoughts that come in as we have them. Yeah, Reiki is good, but at the end of the day, like, we truly have the ability to heal ourselves or to heal things at the snap of a finger. We just have to believe it and get out of our own way, if that makes sense. We don't have to go like chakra by chakra and like, you know, draw a line and do this. It's really just a matter of intention. Are you truly intending to heal what needs to be tended to? And then can you kind of breathe and figure out, let that take you on a journey to what needs healing?
Totally.
Okay, my sister had a question, it seems like.
It was,
It's a question for you. How do you feel about being in your mid-30s, and how do you deal with societal pressures about where a woman should be at that age in relation to kids and marriage?
Totally. I don't.
You don't?
I don't deal with it. But it is a really good question. And have I had those different thoughts? Absolutely. You know, even my mom, of course, is like, okay, when is there going to be like grandkids and things like that? And yet at the same time, they're very accepting of just, you have to just be in your own flow of whatever your divine path is. So whether you're a guy or a girl, and no matter what age you're at, we're so highly influenced by what other people, by what our parents, by what society all dictates that we should or shouldn't be. That's where a lot of the suppression of feminine has come from. Suppression and masculine as well, in a different way. So it goes both ways. But where are we, like, if we're in response to all of that, then we're not proactive to listening to ourselves and proactive to being in our own flow. So the more that you can get in touch with saying, you know what, when it's time, right? How many people are on here that are like, I want a relationship right now, just because maybe there's a fear in their back of their mind that by the time they hit, 40 or even 30, whatever it is, then there's the fear of, oh my God, I won't have a guy. And then I'm going to have to, I need to have a baby because, the biological clock is ticking, and just going round and round. And that just breeds more fear rather than just owning your truth and being like, you know what? I am on an amazing mission. I'm a powerhouse woman and I attract all amazing people into my life, and when that flow is supposed to happen for you, then that flow is supposed to happen for you. But don't let it be at the hand or the dictation of society, parents, friends, because that's all everybody else's fear. That's what I mean by I don't, because I just
step out of the box of conformity.
Step out of the box of conformity. Thank you. Exactly. But really good question.
That's really good. After being really sick for 2 years, I'm starting to feel better and able to resume daily life. I feel like I'm on the edge of figuring out what my purpose here is. How do I help this process along? You are. You are. You're already doing the work. You're laying the groundwork for what it is that you're going to be doing in the future. And whenever you find that you want to, you pop yourself into the future and you're like, what is it that I'm going to be doing? You're no longer in the moment. So always bring yourself back. Okay, so the reason why you've been able to heal is because you were present with your journey. And so now, just like you healed yourself, now you need to remain present with what's in front of you so that the next thing can be revealed. It's truly like unlocking a puzzle. So whatever you did to heal yourself, stay on course with that. Keep following the warm and move away from the cold. Keep following what feels good to you and move away from what takes from you.
Totally.
And that will usually unlock the gateways to what it is that you're supposed to do.
Totally. And just to even second that, which I think you kind of already said anyways, whatever your being sick, illness, whatever that was, physically, emotionally, all of the above, if you could go back and track it and write even down all the things that got you through it, emotionally especially, that may also have a really strong foundation to what your purpose is. Because everybody deals with things for a reason. I know we all know that. But what if what you went through could also really help somebody else?
What if you're here to catapult other people out of their darkness and into the light that they are?
Exactly. By things that you discovered through your own journey and that experience.
Because really, when we suffer, we're kind of like in hell. And there are many layers in hell, so you've studied so much of the darkness.
Totally.
You know, and now that you've studied the darkness and found your way out of that tunnel, now you know exactly what it takes to get out of there. How to get out of hell.
You got a roadmap on how to get out of hell. Awesome. How many people would pay for that?
Exactly. And whenever you find yourself in a purgatory of thought for like a day or two, that's just to remind you of how far you've come.
Exactly.
And to humble you.
Yeah.
It humbles us whenever we have a day or two where we feel off. It almost reminds us that surrender is the key to all things. Surrendering. There's so much power.
Totally. We've all gone through our own versions of hell.
Yes.
Whether that be relationships, dark night of the soul, whatever it is.
Mental disorders,
exactly.
whatever.
We wouldn't be here doing what we're doing for all of you guys if we hadn't gone through our own certain level of hell with it. But then coming out the other side, we're like, oh, all right, well, this is what worked for us. And, you know, why don't we share this with some other people?
And if you
help them get out of hell.
And if you're someone who's had like a lot of burdens in your life, it just means that you're an old soul and the universe thought that you were able to handle more, that you had a wider capacity for things. Like you may have had mental stuff, you may have had breakdowns, you may have had disorders of some sort, and that's because you're an older soul. And as you're clearing all of those illnesses, or you're kind of bringing all of those imbalances into balance, you're clearing things for the entire world, for the entire planet, even for souls who have already passed but weren't able to clear them while they were alive.
I love that. Okay, it just went down right now.
Did you get what I just said, though?
I did, totally.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I love that as you were talking about that, we were at 111 views.
Oh, nice.
So, nice confirmation. So, yes, I heard exactly that to give confirmation to
as you liberate yourself, you're liberating souls that might still be trapped. Oh. Okay? So think about it. As you liberate yourself and whatever you're carrying, you are liberating souls that are still trapped.
That's solid.
Okay?
Out of hell.
Out of hell!
Figuratively.
Yes.
Not literally. Okay, awesome.
The Cosmic Onions, that's a dope name. I want a Cosmic Onion.
Really?
Yeah. If I want to attract going to a specific university in order to attract, it, do I focus on that specific college or just in the experience of any good college?
That's meant for
the first thing...
Those are two different questions.
Yes. The first thing is, as soon as you have a desire to attend a specific college, the universe has received your request. Because we are such linear creatures, so we think of life as a past, present, future, or we tend to repeat things over and over and over again, and God or the universe is like, dude, I heard you the first time.
Right.
Trust me now. Trust me now. And if you don't get accepted into that college, you were not meant to be there at all. Maybe you would have fallen on a bad teacher or something, or you're supposed to meet your soulmate at this other college. Yeah. So
we always put it in a box, right? A visual box of how we think that it should be. It has to be this college. It has to be this state. It has to be, you know, the look of this person.
It has to be this step leading to that step, to that step.
You don't get to know all of that.
No.
And so that's why I said it's two different questions that you're asking. You're asking about a college, but then you're actually also asking, like, okay, like feeling into which one and seeing seeing the vision in your mind and then feeling the experience. But when you see that vision in your mind and feel the experience, the universe doesn't respond to what your ego sees. The universe responds to what your feeling feels. So yes, you're correct on what, to tap into the feeling, but then the universe is going to give you the vibrational match to that feeling. It doesn't necessarily mean that that vibrational match is going to be a match to what your ego saw, but it will be a match to your feeling. But then sometimes we feel the feeling and then put in the box of what we want to see based on our ego, and then by the time the universe gives us something, we're like,
that's not what I asked for.
That's not what I asked for, based on the vision in your mind, in your ego, not based on the feeling.
The universe is like
follow the feeling.
The universe is like a genie, and you have unlimited wishes.
Right.
Okay.
But it has to go based on feeling.
So exactly.
Mind,
so feeling. Ego. So if what you're wanting is at this resonance, and you're still here, the universe will still transport you to what you really want, but it will send you the next stepping stone. Right. And then the next stepping stone, and the next stepping stone until you meet that vibration.
But it may not look.
It may not look like what you conceived of.
So it may not be the university, but you could get
but
there.
But it is a universe. But it is we are in a universe, So, so be the greatest scholar that you can be. Pump your desires out, and if it comes back in a different form, be an acceptance of that. Thank the universe for whatever experience it's blessing you with. And keep plowing forward.
Because if it's not the one, it's on the way to the one.
Absolutely.
So keep jumping until you get to the destination of what you want. That has the ultimate feeling, not the ultimate image of what your ego said.
Totally.
I think we've reiterated that a good 20 times.
We did.
Okay, awesome. Hope you got it.
Thank you guys for all the positive feedback.
Oh, we're at 111 again. Another confirmation. Hey!
How to get your twin flame to talk to you? You don't. If you're trying to get someone to talk to you, you are trying to manipulate a certain outcome.
Yeah.
The very thing that we're here to learn on the University of Earth is to release, to let go, and
is that
stretch.
A girl too?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about developing further trust with the universe.
Yeah.
Universe, this person is not reaching out to me right now. And so I will let it go because I trust that there's a lesson in it or a charge that needs to be cleared within my emotional structure, within my cellular structure. And so I'm going to let it go. Because as long as I keep trying to spin it or manipulate it, I'm in the controller. The universe wants you to be in an Uber. You're supposed to be driven to your destiny, but so often we want to grab the steering wheel. It's an Uber. Just sit back. The Uber driver knows where you're going. All right? It knows your heart.
Universe is an Uber.
Your heart is your iPhone. It has a destination in it. Okay?
Or a droid.
So let yourself be driven. Let the universe be your private chauffeur.
The other thing that I got too is it your, what did they say, soulmate, twin flame, whatever? If they're not talking to you, how do you know that they are your soulmate and twin flame? Because is that an illusion that you may be trying to create in your mind because of something that you want? No judgment whatsoever, but sometimes we get fixated and we feel this spark and we get infatuated with somebody.
And we push our agenda onto someone else.
And we push our agenda because we're like, oh, I'm getting all of these feelings. They must be my soulmate.
Did he say he's your twin?
They know that too? Like, soulmates know that they're each other's soulmates.
Yes.
Not like,
it's not a game.
I saw a spark. Did you catch it? And they're
right.
like, no, where'd it go? I didn't see the spark.
Yeah.
So just as something to double check, right?
Yeah, it may not be your twin flame.
He may not.
And I know that's disheartening.
He may be your infatuation.
Right. But we do fabricate these ideas in our heads. And they're in our heads. They're not in our hearts.
Exactly.
Because your heart is connected with him. And if he hasn't stated that he's your twin flame, then be in honor of that.
Yes.
He
could be your... Would you say iPhones are in the heart? He could be your iPhone 5 and maybe not really your iPhone X.
Amen. Also, like, in the higher dimensions, they don't use words like twin flame. They use things like... So the thing is, don't get caught in too many labels. Labels are very dangerous. Like, he's my twin flame, but he's not my soulmate. It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
If it's heart-based, if there's love
connection,
that's all that matters.
Yes.
The twin flame is just something that's humanized.
It's something that we label because we need to put things into a box.
Right.
In order to compartmentalize, in order to understand.
Yeah,
because
we
our
get
brain only takes a couple bits of information. It's absorbing like over 1,000 bits of information, but we only process like 7.
Your synaptical brain is not your quantum brain. Your synaptical brain is all your experience, it's your storehouse of information. So it's your filter. Your multidimensional brain doesn't use things like twin flame or soulmates or Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael isn't a dude, it's an energy, right? But we like to depict him as a dude.
God isn't either, by the way.
Yeah, God isn't.
He's some white bearded dude, and I'm like,
God is like the headquarters of the light.
I got this download the other day too, where I'm like, God is neither male nor female because it's outside of duality. So only beneath the collective consciousness do we have duality of man and woman and masculine and feminine. But the collective consciousness of God, you can't say God is a man,
right?
Because he's outside of duality. He, she, it. I even just said he. Oh my God! We're so conditioned.
We itemize a lot.
Totally.
And the truth is, we're all part of this vibrational soup.
Yeah.
And Archangel Michael is an ingredient in that soup.
Yep.
And God is the soup. It is the source of light.
Totally.
Cool.
Dig that.
And I love Archangel Michael too. And to me, in many ways, he is a dude because like I'm still in my physical, corporeal body.
Yeah.
And that's how you readily connect to him.
But at the same time,
it's just an angelic energy.
Yeah, we're not saying that there's anything wrong with it. Like I said, our brains need to process and compartmentalize because if you tried to process the vastness of the unlimited amount of information that was the whole universe, you'd short wire, short circuit, done, KO, out. So the fact that then we put it into symbolism or images is just so that we can make sense of it in our own minds. It's a comfort.
We use metaphors to translate messages of a multidimensional nature.
Correct.
So metaphors are the easiest way.
So maybe Michael is a guy. Maybe Michael's a badass like goddess.
Yeah.
Warrior angel.
From the fifth dimensional perception, there's no like I vibrate higher than you. It doesn't. We'd use that just so that we can understand like.
Totally.
You know, this person's making poor choices, you know, or whatever. Like that's how we linearize.
Right. Even when we say, oh, they have an entity around them on their shoulder. Oh, they're possessed. Or they blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's not. They may have.
We're seeing energy.
Right.
And we're putting that energy into a form. With a name.
And we are master projectors, so we always project onto the universe our own issues. Like, oh, I don't understand what I've done wrong. My soulmate isn't happening. So you're projecting all of your issues onto the universe.
Yes.
Right? So it's not like the universe doesn't want you to end up with someone. It wants you to end up with someone.
We're supposed to. We're relational beings. We're here to love and experience our good.
But we also have to address, you know, our limiting beliefs. Like, why 100%. Is the universe doing this to me? It's the victimhood. You're playing the victim.
That's 100% victim. Yeah. Why isn't going back to even what she was saying, why isn't my twin flame, you know, paying attention to me?
That's victimhood.
That's all victimhood. And so that, you're experiencing that. He may be the twin flame that is, to put a label on it, that's teaching you that lesson so then you can give that love to yourself, that love that you're trying to get him to then validate within you. Because nobody can validate anything unless we validate it ourselves. So nobody can tell you that you're a bad person unless you validate it. And nobody can give you the love that you're really seeking unless you give it and validate it within yourself.
Right. Beautifully said.
But we keep trying to like grab that shit from everybody. Be like, you, love me. Tell me that you love me. Prove to me. Jump through 1,000 hoops to prove to me that you love me because I haven't done it enough to prove to myself that I am lovable. Bullshit.
You're lovable.
You're lovable. 100%. 1,000%.
And he may not be.
You would have to be because the universe was created in love and technically an orgasm.
Everything that you're undergoing right now is to prepare you for the love that you were meant to have and to experience in this lifetime. I really sincerely believe that we're here to live with someone. We're here to be partnered up.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense. Like people are a direct mirror of what you're experiencing within. So it would accelerate our evolutionary process to have someone that you live with.
Correct.
And also to share that love and affection with.
Totally. We can only like, so we're all here doing inner work, right? But you can only do...
And sweating.
And sweating ridiculously. You can only do your own inner work on your own to a certain extent.
Right.
You have to then have that external reflection to then see something deeper. When we have like deep conversations on stuff, it feels like we grow like 10 times faster and more awareness within like a 10-minute conversation.
Because it's a
I would
fast
sit there
speed.
by myself to be like, okay, let me meditate on this by myself. Like, what is the...
Yeah, it's a high-speed internet connection.
It's a high-speed internet connection, exactly. And then we're using both of our energies to like go back and forth. So that's what relationships are like. And if we can use that back and forth energy to also clear faster all of our old baggage and shit and give it love
while respecting the other person.
While respecting the other person and not asking anybody to unpack your bags and them unpacking their own bags, then we can get to more love much faster.
Hells yes. And don't get so comfortable with your friends that respect is out the door. Because as soon as that respect leaves, the friendship is going to crumble like cake. So always...
That goes for friendships, romantic relationship, business, every relationship.
It's all about respect.
Totally.
All right?
I feel like we just went on like a channeling rant.
That was so fun.
That was super like... Was that good, guys? Did you get some awesome... For all of you taking notes.
Why do I find myself constantly attracted to highly unconscious people? The more I try to talk myself out of my attraction, it doesn't help.
You're trying to be the teacher.
You're trying to
be the mama bear.
And there's something that those unconscious people have, whether it be a nice body or something that you lacked when you were young, and you're seeking that acknowledgement from them.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to attract someone conscious, have a heart-to-heart from the get-go, and kind of take their pulse, like see where they're at on their spiritual journey.
And are they meant to be your partners, or maybe they are meant to be someone that you're a guide to? Sometimes we have amazing connections with people, and then we make it mean. We make our heart space, that just agape love. We make love mean sexual. And love doesn't mean sex, and sex doesn't mean love. And so sometimes if you're attracting these people and you're like, oh, but they're attractive, or, oh, there's like an interesting like connection and maybe they're the one.
What is it that you're lacking?
Fabricating all this stuff. And maybe you are really just, like, because I said, okay, stop being the teacher, but maybe you're really just supposed to be their teacher and their mentor and not actually their lover.
That's right. Just a thought. Or maybe they don't want to, and maybe they don't want to be taught. No, it was a man. Maybe they don't want to be taught.
Totally.
Maybe your lesson is to walk away from anything that's potentially abusive.
Ooh. We get tests by the universe all the time to be like, are you sure this is what you want? But this one's really pretty. They're not as conscious.
Discernment.
Yes.
Sharpen it.
And state what you want by the actions that you're choosing. So maybe the universe is like, giving you these unconscious people to like test you. You're like, oh, are you gonna go for
How
that?
long are you gonna hang in there? Like, how long are you gonna sit in that pool or in that bath?
Yeah.
The bath is dirty. Get out of there. Don't even enter it in the first place.
Totally.
Cool.
Get really clear on what it is that you want and state that to the universe.
For sure.
And see and watch it shift.
How can I grow my business as a healer? Keep meditating. That's how I did it.
I'm like...
I mean, if you really believe that you have your mind can be so magnetically powerful that people will find you, then that will happen. I was in my closet 3-4 hours a night, and somehow it happened. I don't know. But you have to go inside, especially if you're a healer. It's not going to happen if you chase it externally. Because the whole point of being a healer is to connect people to their inner beings, to their inner selves. So I would say keep meditating, and whenever you feel inspired to take action, and you get nudged by your guides, like for me, my guides did this. All right, Phil, it's time. Then you go with it. Then you follow the instructions that are being provided to you. But you can't force it into existence.
I'm going to go a little business route on that because it is a question about business.
Okay.
And if you want to have a deeper conversation, because this is the other part that I love.
But keep in mind, it's a healer.
Yeah, it's a healer.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can grow your business as whatever you want to.
True.
I would say send me a message and let's have a conversation because for you, there's a self-brand that needs to happen, and it's finding out what your unique message is. It's finding out exactly how you're going to grow that, how you're going to position
Tying it all
yourself,
together.
Tying it all together. That's like one of my little fun
And just be true to yourself.
Self-brand, babe.
If you want to go like niche on it and you're super esoteric, you just have to stay true to you. That's
Totally.
that's what it's about.
But you can multi-niche now. There's a whole other thing about it. It's hot, dude.
It is hot as balls. All right. Let's see.
Loving you guys. What is that? That's weird.
The best place to meditate is in a closet.
The best place is in a closet.
Thank you, Tra-Marie. I appreciate you.
What do we got? Testing. What was that about? I meditate once a day. Awesome. You lack marketing. Exactly. Call me. Send me a message.
Let's see. This might be good. Hi, Sarah. How do I deal with uncertainty of next step to take? I am a solo parent to 3 school kids, and I am planning to leave a job no longer resonating with my soul. How to deal with fear of not having money? Do you want to...
How to deal with fear of not having money?
That's a root chakra block.
It's a root chakra block. It's, you have to look at, so what was it, the last video, whatever we did, we talked about the relationship to money is very similar to your relationships that you have with people. And so looking at either how you treat other people or how your relationship kind of is like with your children, and don't get me wrong, they're your children, loving them, but like, is there, you know, frustration around it, or do you sometimes just like want to push them away, right? It's just being a mom, right?
Yeah.
But all of our relationships that we have, it's all interconnected. So how we do one relationship is how we do them all. So honestly, can like super support to you on leaving a job that's not fulfilling, but I would also set yourself up with something that you, like the plan that you see yourself creating first. I'm not a big fan of like just
and
jumping
put it into
ship
motion.
And put it into motion, exactly.
Because it would be a very unloving act to send yourself into fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
So love yourself enough to say, all right, I obviously have maybe an hour to myself a day or half an hour, and you can, you know, conjure up some sort of plan or business plan or get clear as to what it is that you're wanting to do. And if that hasn't been revealed yet, I would encourage you to stay at your job until it is revealed. And try to find every little lesson that you may not have fully closed the loop on. And whether it be like that you get frustrated with coworkers or with your kids or whatever, try to meld those energies.
Because they're still teaching you something that you're going to then need later on anyways.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Even if that's you want to, you know, be a single mom and start your own business. Like, I've talked to a lot of moms about that, and I've seen tons of moms do that. So it's absolutely possible, but you're going to need a lot of patience for that too.
And you're going to need to take risks, because when you're dealing with the root chakra, you're dealing with lower density.
Yeah.
So it's all about action.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I'm afraid of money. So, like, what can I do to up my game a little bit? Maybe I can, spend money on, invest in yourself. Invest in what it is that you're trying to grow. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself.
Absolutely. Everybody, like for the majority, people invest in things like Coffee Bean and Starbucks and all that stuff. And yet what we need now more than anything is our self-investment, learning the tools that we weren't taught in school, learning how to have true emotional mastery and understanding, and how to like have awesome relationships based on figuring out our own baggage.
Exactly.
And then how to get rid of it. What were we? We were just talking about it where even like some people were just meditating and they're like, but I'm meditating, but that doesn't necessarily clear your shit.
It doesn't.
So that's what we're here to support you guys with. So shout out to book a reading or book a session
book a session
whatever.
Or something. It's so funny how like when a doctor asks you for $3,000 and they don't even heal you, you're like, oh yeah, I'll just pay. And then if you do, you can do healing sessions with people and therapy and all this for a lot less. And that can change your life.
Therapy sometimes takes longer.
It does take longer. Yeah. I crack things in like 15 minutes.
Dude,
Seriously.
It's like we don't have time anymore.
We don't.
There's no more like, okay, let's go back 1,000 times and look at the old scabs and the old wounds and da-da-da.
I don't even need people to come see me again. I'm like, here, take it. Let me crack your code. All right, good.
Exactly. We do have layers to the onion.
Of course.
Or if you're a woman,
you can always deepen your
rose.
spirituality,
You can always do all that. Exactly.
But for the most part, if there are blocks that are causing you to suffer,
exactly.
The universe never...
See it, get it, move on.
Yeah, the universe doesn't impose suffering on you. You're doing that to yourself.
Yeah. But we need each other's support in how to do that, because you can't see your own picture while you're standing in the center of your own picture. Mm-hmm. Only people who are outside can see the painting and all the details, and so they can give you more insights. Mm-hmm. So, what do we got?
Hey, Phil and Sarah, I have been keeping myself reserved for my future potential... for my future potential soulmate, but I have sexual energy. How do I transform the energy to being more powerful?
Reserved for my future potential soulmate, but I have sexual energy with with somebody?
No, with herself. And how do I transform the energy to being more powerful?
Ooh, I love that question.
Well, there's a few layers here.
Cycle it, girl.
The first layer is like, yes, sexual energy is creative energy. It's our life force.
Yeah.
So meditating and trying to then when we have sexual energy, it really just means that the energy is stuck in your sacral chakra, in your sexual chakra. Mm-hmm. So as you meditate, try to imagine that you're opening up your stomach and you're sending the energy up to your heart and then up into your third eye or crown or wherever you please to activate other energy centers. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, if there's any like inherited program from your family that you shouldn't have sex until you're married or whatever it is, I would also tend to that. It's shame.
Shaming and guilt.
You're shaming yourself, because sex can be a wonderful, pleasurable, and healing experience if you do it with the right person. There has to be like an agreement that you guys are wanting to connect on a heart level, and that you guys are here to exchange beautiful, loving, compassionate energy. But yeah, in the interim, if you're not wanting to have sex, fully respect that. Take the energy, send it to your third eye, and then the third eye is a portal to the cosmos, and then pulse out all of those desires out into the universe. You know, one thing that I do sometimes is I literally like scream like, ah, but I do it mentally in a good way, obviously, and I send all of that energy into the cosmos, and I can feel things reverberating out into outer space. And I know that it gets energy moving cosmically and planetarily.
I'm just going to dive into this one way because I feel like it. Okay, so haven't ever talked about this on a live. Use the sexual energy when you're by yourself, obviously. Spiral it up and either keep it in your heart, because you were saying spiraling up out of the top of your head. As a woman, you can actually use that orgasmic energy to either set an intention and either spiral it up, and that can you can use it to clear out your centers, all that stuff, but you can actually keep it in your first 2 chakras, which will, because that's your power center, it is your fight or flight center, but that's also your creative center, and your, because you're talking about how do I turn that into something really powerful, but then once you do that, use that energy to then build and create something, because it will light a very different aspect within you.
Mm-hmm. It amps it up.
Yeah. Have fun with that.
Have fun with that. People who are flat, energetically, the pulsation of their energy doesn't really go far.
Totally.
You have to have momentum behind it.
You have to use the chi.
That's why people who vibrate at a lower level,
yeah,
they're constantly feeding on those lower dimensions.
Yeah. When we have sex with each other, the next level of sex is you can take all of that sexual energy if you know how to use chi and spiraling it around your chakras.
And you do intrinsically. It's just a matter of
remembering it. Exactly.
It, yeah.
But spiraling that energy out the top of your head and then back through into each of your partner's hearts.
Exactly.
Super, super fun. Find a conscious being who knows how to open.
Or you can have sex with lovers of a past life, and invoke them when you have that energy, and then just
can do that.
connect psychosexually.
Are you talking about astral sex again?
Yes, I love astral sex.
It's really fun.
All right.
Some of the best orgasms.
Are you both psychic? We're all psychic. Everyone watching this broadcast, we're all psychic. All of us.
We
but
just
yes,
have blockages that are stopping us from
I was
being
telling
psychic.
Serah today that I'm like a spiritual hacker. So when I meditate, I go through this tunnel, and then I go into the mind of the collective, and then I just hack the mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're all psychic. All of us are psychic. It's just a matter of like, if you practice tennis, you're going to get better at tennis. If you practice meditating, you're probably going to get more psychic. So, but we all have the abilities.
And psychic is, so going even back to the beginning part of this conversation of like compartmentalizing, right? Because you have all the clairs. So being psychic is then compartmentalized into clairsentient, clairaudient, voyant, exactly. So some clairs you might have more strength in than others. After my Kundalini awakening, I had like all the clairs turned on. And it was too much all at once, and so I needed to figure out each one separately and compartmentalize, and now there's different times that I use different clairs. I'm very like visual, like I'll see something, so especially when it comes with like people's patterns and old programs that they have, I can almost track it inside their subconscious mind and go and find it and access it and then transform it. So
pay attention to what happens and what you feel when you walk by someone in a grocery store. And then try to disassociate from the thought, like the thought isn't yours or the feeling isn't yours. Breathe into it and let that take you on a journey. But so often we walk by someone and we feel things, so we get out of the way or we dim our light. Those are your psychic abilities asking to be brought to life.
Yeah.
To be brought forward.
But the human mind, right, shuts it off. It's like, oh, that couldn't possibly
Or there's so much trauma stored.
That's true too.
That you just kind of have that visceral reaction where it's like, oh, let me get out of this person's way. Or no, stand your ground and, bring awareness to whatever it is that's presenting itself in that moment. And that's how you're going to enhance your ESP.
Totally.
But we all have psychic abilities. We just happen to be very passionate. We naturally want to meditate or to, talk about existentialism. That's just where we go. Some people are meant to play tennis. Some
but we've
people are meant
also
to
done a lot of our inner work on not letting whatever those patterns, those fears are, those different, whatever society is supposed to say.
It's a job. It's a job. It's a full-time job. It's a full-time job. So it's like playing with your mind.
It's like, so we talked before about, which wolf do you feed? Like the, the white one or the gray one or the psychic one or the human brain?
Yeah. And then finding your third eye can take years. It took me a while to find it. And now that I found it, I can isolate it. I can breathe right into it. I can work with it. I can stretch it.
Totally.
So it's just but it takes, you need to be
Close it when you need to.
If you're a natural truth seeker, which you probably are if you're logged in right now, then you'll eventually get there.
Yeah.
But we just have to apply ourselves. No matter what friend wants to see you, you have to take care of what you need. You have to really commit yourself to the process.
Did your third eye ache?
Yes, the third eye pulses. It can absolutely.
It
feels like it pierces. A little bit.
Mine sometimes feels like, it almost makes me feel like a sinus, because there's like a pressure, like, when you get kind of like a sinus headache, when it's really active, it can feel like that kind of pressure.
And it can become even more.
That can be electromagnetic frequencies though too, because
it can
cause the same pressure.
But if you breathe, you'll know if you're the one activating it, because you'll be able to direct your life force, your prana to that area.
Totally. What's our time? I don't even know when we started.
How do you remove the blockage? The most practical way to remove blockages is to remove yourself, because you are the block. Get out of your own way.
And energetically though too, I'll say you can do it through meditation, you can do it through hypnosis, and if you're opening up your some of the blockages then are in the third eye. So either practicing using chi energy to open up all of those things, practice seeing it through meditation, or do hypnosis.
Yeah. And when you're dealing with, yes, I do connect with the Arcturians.
I have.
How'd you know?
Maybe an awesome little alien.
Oh, that's
video
right.
you posted.
Whoops. Do you recommend using pendulums for divination? Yeah, why not?
I
Have
love
fun
pendulums.
with it. Have fun with it. It's all kind of like, as you're looking at the pendulum swinging, that in itself is like being in a state of allowance
Totally.
and getting out of your own way. So that's connecting you to the higher realms.
Yeah.
Just
There's
automatically.
two different kinds of dowsing. There's regular dowsing, basic dowsing, and then there's energy dowsing. So just know that when you have a crystal, you're using basic dowsing, and it's usually just a yes or a no question. If you get into energy dowsing, you want a neutral pendulum that you can actually pick up certain vibrations. But yeah, it's absolutely a very effective. We have very limited technology on, now we have Killian photography that can measure different energy fields, but before we had any of that, we were using dowsing. That's how we found water underneath the ground. So it's a little bit of a forgotten art, and it's a very subtle art at the same time, because it's using most of your energy. And yes, there's some people who are like, you're moving it. It's a very, very subtle thing, and you have to, it's a process. But yeah, I would 100%, I love dowsing. I'm more energy dowsing than basic dowsing. If you have any other questions on that, I can point you in the right direction of like what kind of pendulum specifically and then how to do that.
I think we're done, right?
I think so.
Okay, we love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. That was quick. I'm like, bye. No, but seriously, we truly appreciate you.
Yes.
And we're going to keep throwing out that information, and yes.
Yes. So go go subscribe either.
Yes, please
to
do.
The Compass. So either on Phil's link, or there's a link on my bio. We need more subscribers.
Yes.
So then we can be putting out more content. Of course, you guys already know if you want a session, those links are in there as well. I'm going to do a quick shout out and say this is the last week for all you amazing ladies who want to watch the webinar replay of Reviving Radiance. This is the last week that you can sign up. It's going to be amazing. I'm so loving the powerhouse women that are already involved.
Amazing.
So if you have questions on it, or if you want to watch the link to the free webinar replay, that's on my bio as well.
Love you.
We love you guys.